welcome back. So here we'll go into the employer and start to model that one. And before doing that, you might notice here in the data that we have 67 in the query result instead of 70. And this is not an error, but this is just that I'm recording this at another time, which means that I've actually done the ingestion again and replaced the data. Which means that some applications have gone out of deadlines, so past its deadline it has been deleted. So that's why it's somewhat fewer here. And also there's a new one that has been ingested. So this one was the first one we saw in the last video, but this one is the first one we see in this video. So just to explain this. Okay, so now we want to do modeling of the dimension employer. So looking into the employer, we have different things. We have the employer ID, we have employer name. So suppose that with the employer ID together with the employer name, this should suffice for making, for determining the I've actually checked it out. It does suffice to find one row. So it will uniquely identify one row by using both the ID and the employer name. So then we will do like this. We will start with our CTE. So with source employer. As here I do select star from ref. I want to do source employer, and this will go into this will reference this source here and find the source employer. And then I will select star from source employer like this. And this I can run. Yes, so this is the source employer, right? We got the employer name, we got the employer workplace and the workplace city. As we have seen here, there's actually many more, but we haven't added them yet. Because I wanted to leave this for the reader, for you guys to try to implement it yourself. So it's more fun to do it yourself than to just watch this video. So let's do this. As I said, we want to do the select, right? And we want to take a macro here. And this is a Jinja macro. I will take dbt utils dot generate surrogate key. So I generate this hash key based on these two columns, the ID and the employer name. Employer underscore name, like this. Let me see, it's starting to be a little bit crowded, so I will remove this a little bit here. So this one, I will call it as employer ID, like this, and then I will also pick the employer name, and I'll run this and see what happens. Okay, so here we get the employer ID, which is a uniquely a hash ID now based on these two columns. We get the employer name. Great. However, we also had the city, right? But if we just take the workplace city, what happens? Workplace city. This. And this is quite fun because we have a lot of values here that are empty actually. So these are null values. A lot of null values, and we have some that are, for example, Stockholm here. One that is written with capital letters and one that is written with And there's different formatting of it. So just the first one is caps and the other one are lowercase, right? So I want to have all of them to have similar formatting. So what should I do? We can start with actually removing the null values. So by removing them, I don't mean we remove the row. Instead, we want to replace it, right? So we can use a function in dbt that is quite nice. It's called coalesce. Coalesce. Yes, coalesce. And I want to put in the workplace city, and whenever it's null, I want to replace it with a string. So the string I want to write is stad a specificerad. This means that the city is not specified. And I will call it as workplace city, like this. And I'll run this one. So here you see, perfect. It has changed to stad a specificerat. That is very good. Because we don't want to have null values in our dataset. Whenever it's null, we want to replace it with some more descriptive value. So here it's not specified. That's a good descriptive value. Okay, now comes another fun thing. As we said, we wanted to change the formatting of the text, right? So I want to have capital letters and the rest in lowercase. I want to have capital letter on the first one. Okay, so in order to do this, we will go into the macros and we'll create a macro for reusing some SQL code. So I will call this string underscore utils.sql. And here I will create my macro, so macro, and dbt power user helps me with the snippet, like this. So macro, and what name do I want? Well, I want it to be called capitalize first letter. And then I want to have the arguments is the column, right? So then when I call this, I will send in the column as an argument to this macro. And then in this macro, I will do some SQL code to capitalize the first letter. And one thing with macros here, we have this file called stringutils.sql. And here you can have several macros. And you will call the macro by using its name and put it into two curly braces. So here I have this macro. I want to have case end, and here when this column, so this is how I pick the variable column. So when this column is null, then we do it as null. So when it is null, then it will become null. Else, so I make it more general. So we can also, so this makes sure that we can handle null values as well. So else, we will do an upper here, substring of column, like this, and I will pick the first one. And the first one I make into upper, right? And then I will make the rest, this is concatenating with the rest. I'll do substring of column. Let's see, here lower, here, comma 2. So from 2 to the end, I will do lowercase. So now I can go back to string utils. I'll go back to the employer, and I will use this. So in order to use this, I will do like this. Capitalize first letter. and here it will have this as my argument. So I will cut this out and paste it in here like this. And let's see, yeah, let me close this down like this. Coalesce, it should be wrapped in string because this is what I want to send in. Let me see. So it should be here actually. Yes. So I send in this into the capitalized fast letter. Okay, and let's try this out. Okay, there's some error. Unexpected curly brace. Let me see how to handle this one. So we have curly braces. We have capitalized first letter. We have, oh right, this should be in here, like this. Okay, let me try now. See if it works. Yes, it worked. You see that even here, stad är specificerat, it became capitalized in the first letter, and we will go into the end and we see that the last one was Stockholm with capital letters all the way. Now it's correct. Okay, so let's do, let's go into the terminal and let's see where I am. I am in dbt code, right? So let's do dbt. Oh, actually I need to activate my virtual environment. I see I haven't done that. Then/bin/activate. So now I've activated my virtual environment. I'm in the right directory, so I can do dbt run. Okay, so we see that we've found 2 models and they have run successfully. Okay, so why do we have 2 models when we have created a lot of models in the sources? We have 3 more here. Remember that they are ephemeral models, so they will materialize as ephemeral, which means that they won't materialize into actual model that is stored in Snowflake. Yes. So we will later go into Snowflake and see that we actually have the models in the correct place. However, before doing that, we will continue with the fact. So go into the fact and we create fact job ads.sql. And here I won't actually have the dimensional model in side by side because that will make it too crowded. However, I will show the dimensional model. Let me see here. Here's the dimensional model, and if we go into the fact job ads a little bit here, we see that they have the job ID and we have job details ID. Actually, I will call it the _key instead, an employer _key, and here auxiliary attributes _key, and that's because I want to have it as a foreign key. So this is foreign key to an ID in job details, right? So job details key, I will call it, will be a foreign key relationship to this job details ID. And in order to do when we do this, we have we are able to do join between these 2 tables later on. So that is why I want to do this. And similarly here, I want to have foreign key relation here, right? So I want to be able to join these 2 tables also in order to enrich my fact. So enrich the data, right? Okay, so to do this, we start with our fact table, and our fact table let's do a with statement here, CTE. So with, I will call it actually like this, job add, but I will do with a variable here, job add or JA as select star from, we do a ref, and which one I want to have? I want to have source job ads. So now you will see the power of CTE. I can add more. So I will do job details as well as select star from ref source job details, and I want to have another one, E as select star from ref source employer or SRC employer. So select, I can do select star from E or from JA, for example, like this, and I will run this one. So this gives me all the data from job ads. Okay, cost limit has exceeded its quota. Yeah, I will stop this video and I will fix this. Okay, so I fixed the cost limit. So I just increased it a little bit. So here we have a query from JA, which is job ads, source job ads, and we can see that we get the data, right? So by doing this, we can do like this. We have the select here, and I want to have dbt utils dot generate surrogate key, and here I want to add job detail dot id comma job detail dot headline as job details key. Okay. First of all, in order for us to get the job details ID, we need to do here, we have from JA, right? So we need to do left join on JD job details and on JA.ID equals JD.ID. Okay, first of all, we remember that we have the ID on both job details and job ads, right? In order to check that, we can check this one, or actually we can go and check. Let me show you in the source. JD is job details, right? So here we have selected the ID. So the ID is, this ID is the one that we get when we load the data. So this one, and when we go into job ads, we also have ID. So it means that these two are the same, right? So I can join on this ID. So I can join on this ID. So by joining on this ID, I will get my table. I did a left join, so I will get my table that is, so I can get columns from both JA and JD now. Yes, and in order to do to get the job details key, we see here that the job details in dimension it's based on ID and headline from the source job details, right? So it's based on the ID and headline. So when we are creating the key in our fact table, it has to be same correspondence, right? What I mean by that is that if I create my surrogate key based on ID and headline from source job details, if I do it once in dimension job details, and I do it again in fact job ads, then these surrogate keys will correspond because of the hash function we're using in this generate surrogate key. If they are based on the same columns, the same input, then the output will be unique and it's the same, right? So that is how we're doing in order to create this. And they must be this the key here, job details key, and this job details ID. They must be the same in order for us to be able to do the join later on. Otherwise, the joining will be really weird and erroneous. Okay, so to demonstrate this, if I run this one, let me take another one. I will take. I will also take. Yeah, it does. I take the relevance from JA, so job ad, and I will also pick vacancies. I will also pick application deadline. So for now, like this, and I run this one. Relevance, unexpected relevance. Question is, did I get relevance from source job ads? Yeah, I got the relevance. Oh, right, I need to have comma here. Sorry, like this. So when I run this one, I should get, yeah, now I get the preview here. We see the first one is F, it's start with F and it ends with 3, and then we have 34.1, right? Okay, remember this. And then we go into the job dim employer. No, not dim employer, instead what is called dim... I opened dim employer, dim job details ID and job details headline, right? And I go into job details and we see it's the ID and it's the headline. So it should correspond here. So we get here FEA something ends with 3 and we get 34 something, right? So they are corresponding by doing some initial check. You should you can check more of them to be more certain. However, I've already done it before, so this works, and it's quite cool that it works. Then we can go into the employer, right, and get the employer key as well. And the employer key is based on ID and employer name, right? So let's go into the fact here, and we have employer as E, right? So as we have the same ID again, we can do left join on E on ja.id equals e.id. And in this way, we also get the employer, the source employer, we get those data. So we have job details key. We can get the, I copy this one. And I want to call it employer key. So here is not JD, instead it's E, right? Since in order to get the source employer. So then I use the EID and E, not headline, the employer name, like this. Yes, and I can run this one. And here we can see, okay, we check the employer key here, 902, and we have F97, 902 and F97. Then we go into the dim employer and we test this out. Oh, there's something wrong here. Okay, so I have debugged now, and actually it wasn't anything wrong. It's just how the join works. So we're doing left join, right? So we're doing we based on JA, the job ads, and we do the, so based on source job ads, we do left join on that, and then we do left join on that as for the employer, right? So by doing this, then the positions of or the corresponding rows are not it's not each row corresponding. So instead you have to look into the employer name, right? So that's why I'm also printing out employer name, and I will also print out JD dot description. This is to verify manually. So for verifying that FK relationship works. Okay, so when I run this one, we see that, okay, we get here, we can take, for example, Scania CV. We see that it has 9E1D something. So let's do it like this. I will copy this one. So this is for Scania, and I'll just put it here as a comment here. Oh, sorry, that didn't copy. Scania is this one. Copy this. Oh, it didn't copy. Let me see. Okay, like this, and this should be able to copy. So this one is for Scania, and we can pick another one. This one is for, we can take Scalero maybe, yes, this one, where it has 6 vacancies. We can pick one with 1 vacancy. If skadeförsäkring. Take and copy this one. So this one was Scania, and this one was If, right? If skadeförsäkring. Like this. Okay, so let's check it out in dim employer now. So I run this one. Like this. So let's find out if skadeförsäkring, right? It has 8759. And it ends with, let me see, it ends with D1 here. It ends with D1. That seems to be correct. And we can take a look at the other one, Scania. So let's look up Scania here. Let's look up Scania here. We can see 9E in the beginning and 54F in the end. So it works. So this one works. And we can also have a look at the description. So if I run this again, I will get also the description. So if I go into here, we see eTraveli Group AB, we have about us eTraveli Group something. So let's go into dim job details. And here we have the description as well, right? Let's also copy, here is the ID. Let's copy the first one. Copy this one, like this. So here we have something with, if I, oh, now I'm, so I run this one. And here you can also see that, let's see, for this one, 8F something. Let me see. 8F. Here, 8F, about us eTraveli Group, right? So then it's correct now, or you should actually verify with more in order to make sure that it's actually correct. But we can do one more. Let us take one more. We take this one from Winter. Winter is seeking an accept something. Okay, maybe exceptional. Okay, this is the Winter, right? Let's me take Winter C0 something. C0 is this one. Okay, I'll copy this part here. Like this. So these two were corresponding. I will erase this one. Actually, there are tests for doing this automatically, which we'll come into later on in the testing section. But it's very good to verify it manually that it works in order to before you move on. So let's do it like this. I paste this in, and so this is the Winter, right? So now I run it in the fact table, which here I have done the different joins and created the keys. So let's run this one. And here we can see, let's see if we can find description. We don't have so much data, so it's actually manageable to do like this. Otherwise we can do another analytics and find it. Let's see, something with Winter, right? Here, Winter is seeking an exceptional, right? So here, let's take a look at that one. Or not this one actually. Winter. Let me see. Winter has this one. Let me check again. Let's go back to dimension job details, right? Oh, right. I was sorry. I was taking the employer ID. That is not correct. I want to check this one, job details key, not the employer key. So job details key. Oh, we can see it's exactly the same. Ah, then it works. Yes, that's good to check. Great. So now this one works. So let's also do like this. I actually want to have this for verification only. So I can do like this, Command K, Command C. Or actually I can do like this, Command K, Command C. So it comments this out. And for now, I'm actually quite satisfied with the fact table. Well, it should have its own surrogate key as well for the ID, and it should have some more columns, but this is up for you to implement. So next we'll go into implementing the marts table for serving the data.